Kate.
It's nice to see you again.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Well, I think the last time we had you here, we were talking tourism, and now you've got a sheet of upcoming events, which I wanted you to be able to tell folks what we are expecting here in Rhode Island. Actually, someone was joking in the green room. They said, "Oh, well, your news and politics and upcoming conventions." I said, "Well, we are having the National Governors Association here this summer. One of the bigger events probably we'll be hosting, but you've got the full rundown."
I do. I have a great list, and National Governors Association is among them. It is a big event, not our biggest, but certainly one of our most prestigious, and we're thankful to Governor Raimondo for inviting her colleagues here. So that convention happens in July,
Okay.
and we're excited that they're going to see not just Providence, but really all of Rhode Island while they're here. We're encouraging them to come early, stay late, and experience all that Rhode Island has to offer.
So, if that's not the biggest, what is the biggest upcoming one?
Well, by number of attendees, the biggest is, and these names are always so hard to pronounce. It is the American Urogynecologic Society's annual scientific meeting.
Okay.
Now that you asked, they'll be here in the fall, and that's a great group that's been here before. They had a fantastic experience in Providence. An interesting story with that group. This meeting was originally scheduled to take place in North Carolina.
Ah.
Exactly, and before they just amended, if you will,
Yes.
the bathroom law down there, this group decided that it was not the place for their delegates, so they needed to find another home. So they knew they had a great experience in Providence previously, and they rebooked here. So it's great. We're happy to have them. So
How did that
they have
play out?
2,000
Did you
people
reach out to them when you knew there was some
Well-
political instability? I mean, or did they just come to you and say, "Hey," and you were surprised?
They came to us. Honestly, when one of our counterparts, and we're all very collegial, I want you to know, we compete with each other across the country, destination to destination, but we're collegial. And in fact, when someone is undergoing hardship, whether it's weather-related, boycott-related, we don't go in and try and poach their business from them. However,
You step up to be there.
If a group decides on their own volition that they want to relocate, we're certainly happy to make the process easy for them. We actually been on the NCAA basketball tournament for this year that ended up going to South Carolina. So that's another great group that we're hopefully going to see back again, but not quite this year.
Sometime in the near future. So you've got the
Yeah,
list. I'm going to play you a
yeah.
little closer over here.
Sure.
We're going to go through everything you've got going
Well,
on.
I think what's interesting about the makeup of the groups that we have coming in this year, every year we have a great list of conventions, but a lot of these groups really play to the state's strengths. So we know that the governor and local and state economic development officials are really going after groups that are technology related, that are biomedical related, scientific related. The good news is a lot of the groups we have coming in fall into those sectors. Some of that was by design. We sought them out. Some of that just happened. So we just had a great group. Hemophilia Federation just left Providence. They had a fantastic time here, did a water fire. Great
Yes.
scientific group for our community. In June, we have a really interesting group. It's Airports Council International Jumpstart. So we will have route directors, route managers for airlines from all over the country coming in to Providence to meet with airports from all over the country and experience what we have to offer, and hopefully they like what they see and say we need more air service there.
Well,
so,
and we've talked about this. I think we talked about TF Green last time you were in, the expansion with Norwegian Air. I mean, how much of a catalyst is TF Green for the state?
It's huge. Every convention on this list needs air service for their delegates to get here, no matter where they're from. In many cases, they're coming from across the world. They're international. So the more we can do to bolster TF Green service, the better we'll be across the board. So that group's coming in June. We're very excited to have them. Another very large group coming in after that, Association of College and University Housing Officers. That was brought to us by a consortium of college and university folks in Rhode Island who raised their hand and said, hey, let's bring our colleagues here. 1,400 people coming in June
1,400 people.
to deal with the issues that related to college housing. There is an association for everything, I'm sure
There,
you know that.
there is indeed. And remind viewers, well, how many in the city proper hotel rooms are there
There are
currently?
2,500 about right now, and we're going to see probably 3,000 rooms coming in the next 18 months or so.
Okay.
So yeah, we got to fill them. That's our goal. So on the heels of that, we have a really fun group, National Federation of State High School Associations. So that is all the interscholastic leagues from across the country coming in. Our friend our great friend Tom Mezzanotte helped us bring that in. Those folks come in and really enjoy the destination. They have some fun activities planned. They're going to be golfing, traveling all over the state to experience Rhode Island. So we're excited to be welcoming them. Of course, we mentioned NGA, and then several scientific conferences. International Conference for Mercury as a Global Pollutant. I bet you haven't heard of that one before. The annual Pangborn Sensory Science Symposium. A great scientific group, but very interesting for Rhode Island because it's food related.
Okay.
So what they study is how food impacts the various senses. So we're excited to have them. We think there's a lot of connecting points here. Johnson & Wales, in fact, wrote a letter of support for us to bring that group here. So that's going to be a great, great group here. The folks at the state police were helpful in bringing the CALIA conference here, Council for Accreditation of Law Enforcement Agencies. So be careful what you do. In July.
What's the date on that?
That's in July. And we will have several hundred law enforcement officials from across the country coming into Providence for training. It's actually a very important and timely topic. They're going to be training on all the issues related to law enforcement right now, which you know is always in the forefront of the news. So the good news is people come here. The byline is, here's what we learned while our convention took place in Providence, Rhode Island. So our name gets out there across a variety of sectors. And then something really fun that's going to be happening this September. I'm not sure if you've seen it. Not quite a convention, but sort of a convention. It's we're calling a family event, which is HasCon. So our friends at Hasbro are riffing off the Comic-Con explosions, and it's a very different format, but what they're going to be doing is showcasing all of their extraordinary product lines at the Convention Center, Dunkin' Donuts Center, and even on the street in front for 3 days. And it's going to be an extraordinary family event. They're going to be showcasing My Little Pony and Nerf and Transformers. They have a great trailer right now that shows a Transformer walking through the city of Providence. So that we're thinking is going to bring 30 to 40,000 people for a weekend in September, right after Labor Day.
Now, this is the first time they've done it?
First time.
When did you start talking with them about this?
Probably 6 or 8 months ago, give or take. They started to bring us into the loop on this, and they've probably been noodling with it for a while, but I think they take pride in the fact that Rhode Island is their home, and they just see an opportunity to launch something new and different here in their home state that we think is going to have national implications.
All cons seem very popular right now. Is that riffing off of the national popularity?
The big one was San Diego, right?
Yep.
And Hasbro exhibits at that.
Okay.
Quite honestly, and I think, and I don't want to put words in their mouth, but it was kind of through that particular event that they said, we could do
the whole thing ourselves.
We could do this in Rhode Island and show the regional market what Hasbro does. My friend Jane from Hasbro always says one of the most popular questions they get is, what actually goes on behind the scenes there, right? Doesn't everybody want to know how
are the toys made?
So they'll be doing workshops to that effect, bringing in talent that will talk about how they're doing voiceovers, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be a really, really fun time. Costume characters, fun for the whole family.
Sounds like we've got some opportunities to maybe bring them onto the set here to talk about what's going on.
I think so, absolutely. I think they'd love to do it.
And are they going to be unveiling anything new toys, new products?
I'm not sure about that, quite honestly. I know they're going with some of their tried and true brands, but don't forget, they're also connected to a lot of celebrities and a lot of movies, Beauty and the Beast, for instance. So I think they're going to be unveiling some really fun linkages between Hasbro and things that we maybe as consumers didn't know were connected.
Keep an eye out for that and remind us the date of that.
That is, HasCon is September. I don't have the exact dates. It's the second weekend in September.
Perfect, when kids are back at school.
I think it's the 8th through the 10th,
yeah.
Right after Labor Day.
Looking for some fun when you're easing back into the education mode after the summertime.
Exactly.
So what else you got going on in the fall? You've taken us through mostly the summer. We're into the fall now.
We're into the fall now. Well, one summer meeting I didn't mention, which is very interesting, and I think we might have talked a little bit about this last time, International Society of Electrochemistry annual meeting. Again, a great scientific meeting. Most of the delegates are from abroad. They're not from the U.S. So it'll be interesting to see their experience with getting to Providence. So hopefully they can connect into Providence's TF Green or use Boston's Logan Airport seamlessly. But also want to see how the international delegates feel about the city, and we're excited to have them here. So that's something fun and unique for us. Something else that is connected to a big economic development project here in Rhode Island is National Association of Neonatal Nurses annual conference. They've been here before. They had a great experience. They're coming back, similar theme. But now we're gonna have that incredible nursing school open,
Yes.
the collaborative school, URI, Rhode Island College, and I've taken a preliminary tour. It's an extraordinary facility, not like anything that you can see other places in the country. So I'm hoping that they can take advantage of the fact that that facility is here. In fact, we're gonna really play off that strength and try and get more and more nursing groups here. So again, nursing, scientific, connected to our colleges and universities.
All of our strengths,
Excited-
getting them in.
So excited to have them. And then, there's a few more scientific groups, but one that I just want to call out is another repeat, Coastal and Estuarian Research Federation Biennial Conference. They've been here before.
We've got
studying
coasts, we've got estuaries.
Oh, they are a great group. A good friend of mine from the South County area has been very intimately involved with them, and they love coming to Rhode Island. We have such great natural resources for them to study and explore. So
And that's in the fall.
that's in the fall.
As I saw, it was all done. It was all done by date here.
It was all done by date.
So I see you've got all the attendees lined up
Yes.
here, and of course it's not quite totaling yet. But
No.
for the year, what's the number you're looking at?
Oh, I don't have the attendee number. We typically look at spend. So I think the spending is about 60 million in direct spending for all of the conventions that we're hosting this year, and that's not multiplied. That's just
Direct
how much
spend.
they're going to spend in the local economy. It's in the tens of thousands for room nights and for total delegates, probably pushing the 100,000 mark when you add in something like a HasCon and a Comic-Con, and so we're well over 100,000 for delegate numbers. But the city is going to be hopping, and hopefully, if you need hotel rooms at any time this summer, book now. Because, while not every one of these groups takes up the whole city, there'll be a lot of activity here. And don't forget, we already have a very busy summer in Providence in general. We have a lot of great consumer activities. Of course, Waterfire always fills the city. Saturday nights are always in the 90% to 100 range for occupancy. So it's a great time to visit. Great restaurants, great on the water activities, and it's going to be even better this year because we are welcoming all these great visitors. So what we want to tell our Rhode Island residents to do when you're in Providence this summer and you see those big plastic name tags, say hello, welcome. Where are you from? We're happy you're here in the Ocean State.
Tell them thanks for coming. And now you've got the full rundown here, and I know we talk numbers a lot. Year over year, 17 to 16. Can you talk about where we're at now?
In number of groups, 17 is going to be higher than 16 for sure. In number of what we call hotel room nights utilized, it is a tick higher, probably 5% or so higher. The caliber and quality of the groups this year, though, all coming back to back on each other, is something we haven't seen here in quite a while. So, we always have very busy convention seasons. We have great, interesting groups here every year. And this year just somehow sticks out as one of those years where the city is on fire. And we hold our annual meeting typically at the Rhode Island Convention Center in October. And this year we called them for a date, and good for them and good for us. They don't have any availability, so we won't be holding our annual meeting there this year.
Have you found a new venue?
We're going to use the Waterfire Arts Center,
Okay.
which is exciting. But I just think it's an interesting story that the building just has a lot going on this summer.
Just
And,
total capacity.
while summer again is a great time in Providence, sometimes we do see peaks and valleys, and I feel like with this schedule this year, there's going to be far more peaks than valleys for sure.
And how much will the addition in hotel rooms mean? Looking ahead to it, 2018, how big of an impact will that have?
Well, clearly it's 20% more rooms in the market if you look at it that way. Maybe 500 rooms doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but it'll have an impact. Saturday nights, we're probably turning away some guests on some Saturday nights when we're at capacity, but there are nights of the week, Sunday, maybe a Thursday night where we're not at capacity, so you'll see some of the business shifting around between hotels versus new business coming in. But that's our role. Our role is to fill them 7 nights a week to the extent that we possibly can.
Yes.
So we'll have our work cut out for us, but between the convention delegates that we'll be bringing in, in years to come, and expanding our leisure marketing efforts, we're confident that we can fill those rooms. And the rooms, the interesting dynamic is they're a little bit different than what we already have in the market. So you've got extended stay hotels like the Residence Inn and the Homewood Suites, which we don't have right now in downtown Providence. So there's a particular kind of customer that we might attract here. Maybe they're staying in Seekonk now because we don't have that product
What
here.
they're looking for.
So we'll bring them back into Rhode Island, and maybe the price point for some of the other hotels will be more appealing to visitors that are staying in Attleboro now over the line, because they're not, wanting to pay exactly what our hotels are charging, which isn't really that high in the first place. But everybody has their different preferences. So we're excited for them to come online, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to sell them.
Now, I know you talked about, working together collegially with other states around the country, but here we are. We oftentimes talk about a comparison to Boston, and Boston certainly has a lot to offer. But the hotel prices here in Providence are significantly lower. How much of a sense do you get that the value here in Providence, not just the value of the cost of hotel rooms, but everything we have to offer? Is that really kind of the selling point, is you can do everything here, get to everything here, and we're kind of reasonable?
Would you like a job? So we really find that is exactly why groups select Providence. Sometimes we do bid against Boston, or are in the bidding process against Boston, not against their big convention center, because that's just a different caliber of group or a different size group, but sometimes against the Hines or single property hotel business in Boston. And that's exactly what we talk about. We talk about the fact that here you book a city, you get a state, first of all. So
book a city, get a state.
Not only do you get this wonderful downtown, everything here is walkable.
Yes.
You come out your door of your hotel and you can walk to the convention center. You can walk along a streetscape and grab a cup of coffee or a bottle of wine or a book or whatever you might need, all within a block of one another. That's such a great selling point. And then two, you're in downtown Providence, but gee, I'd love to see some beaches. Within 30-35 minutes, you're in beautiful South County. You want to go kayaking, northern Rhode Island, although soon we'll have kayaking right in the heart of downtown. Stay tuned for that.
Oh,
from our friends at Providence Riverboat.
Little kayaking options.
But that is our sell, and our room rates are significantly lower than Boston. So we do certainly capitalize on that when we're bidding against cities such as that.
And obviously, I know we talked about this before, looking more internationally now with what TF Green has to offer with direct flights with Norwegian. So do you expect next year we might see some more international conferences coming to look here?
I think we will start the process of soliciting international conferences, but quite honestly, we have a timeline in our office that we use to show people how long it takes to book a meeting. It takes a long time. So
doesn't
it
happen
can take,
overnight.
No, it can take 3 months to 3 years, quite honestly. But we will definitely start to solicit international groups now that we do have that direct service, within the UK region in particular, because that's where the service is clearly most robust, although you can connect from other places. So it's definitely going to be a market we will pursue. And I heard Iftikhar speak yesterday, and I've heard the stat thrown out that they're very pleased with how Norwegian is booking so far, because they were certain that Rhode Islanders and Southern New Englanders would want to book this service outbound, going over to Europe. But it was an unknown about the inbound service, and I think they're thrilled with the inbound numbers thus far.
Fantastic.
So maybe not for meetings and conventions, but for leisure visitors, it looks like people are taking advantage of that service and coming our way.
Well, hopefully we had Niall McCarthy with the Cork Airport in before. Hopefully we'll get him back in again to talk about.
Great.
Well, back in, Skype in. We can Skype anywhere. And actually, it's going to be our next guest. So we're going to probably let you take off to do your tasks at hand. But I appreciate your coming in to tell everyone with, all the conventions going on this summer. Again, Providence Board Convention and Visitors Bureau. Martha Sheridan, as always, appreciate your coming in.
Thank you, Kate. It's great
we'll
to be here.
Soon, okay?
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Martha.